session, we have a quick look at the room heights command within ARUtils. The benefit of this is that the actual height of a room will be assigned to a room. So if we go down here and we select this room, you'll see that we have some information about that room definition. As you can see, the actual top of the room is positioned at 13.123 above the base level. So, and over here you can see that we've got that 13.123, a zero base offset. We have an unbounded height of 13.123. Not really sure what that's good for, but means nothing to me. We then have a computation height, which says it's 0. So once again, not very useful figures. Over here, we have another room that's been once again placed in a ground floor view, but the floor slab actually encroaches into that ground floor area. Once again, the calculated room height, or the limit offset, is a meaningless 13.123. So even though the room shows quite correctly in the highlighted part, we can't in fact schedule things like the height. So with this ARUtils room heights command, we'll be able to rectify those issues and some other ones quite quickly and easily. So let's just start up the room heights command. So a fairly simple interface. By and large, you should be just able to hit process all, and we'll do that and we'll see what happens to our rooms. Okay, and we've got some feedback, bit of information about unplaced rooms. There've been some lower offsets adjusted, room heights have been updated. Room 7's got a closer matching level of level GA. So if, for example, we had a small mezzanine level and we'd actually placed rooms using the ground floor plan rather than that level GA, which was probably our intention, this command will fix and adjust those rooms to that level GA command. So let's just exit out of that and investigate the rooms in a bit more detail. So we'll have a look at this room, room 7. That's now actually been shifted from level ground or ground floor to level GA, and a base offset has been applied. The reason that we do it this way is because if we try and put in a positive base offset of say 2 and hit apply, we'll get room's lower offset is above the computation height. It just doesn't like it. It won't let us do that. So this room is now at level GA and there's a base offset down so that it matches the floor. You'll see that the top offset is also now set to the finish face of the floor above. If we have a look at this room, remember previously it was a 13.21 height. That now shows our limit offset is 9. We've got a base offset as -1. So we can now actually get accurate figures for scheduling, for example, to say what height that room is. We also have the room height as determined by ARUtils. And because in this case we've got 1 foot below and 9 foot above the level, it's actually a 10-foot high room, not the 9 foot that the limit offset would have us believe. So I'll just go through some of the relevant facts to highlight exactly what's taken place here. So if I select this room, it's now got it's a fairly standard room. It goes from floor to ceiling, but now the limit offset has been set to 10 and the room height has been set to 10 feet. If I select this room, then you'll see that the room has been extended down by a foot so that it now actually sits on the floor, which is below the level that the room was created at, but the height for that room is shown as 10 feet. And if I go over to these two rooms, you'll see that we've now got the room at level GA. The limit offset is 8.063. The base offset's that, but once again the overall room height is 10. So you have very exact figures. And then finally for this room, it's been moved up to a higher level. The limit offset's been adjusted, the base offset's been adjusted, and that's a 7 metre high room. And it's taken account of the bulkhead here. So all of these rooms are now much more usable, and your mechanical engineer will probably be very grateful that everything in fact sits exactly in the right locations. So I'll just have a quick review of the dialogue at this point. So firing up the command again, we've got room heights. Now something that you can do is say ignore a room. So say for some reason you've got a super weird room and you simply want this command to ignore it in the auto adjustment phase. You can just click ignore room, select the room and more rooms. But if we now pick that room, you'll see disable height update is ticked, and if we do things like changing it, then if I run that command again, process all, okay, and you'll see that it says ignored one room with disable finish update enabled. And if we pick that room again, you'll see that it's remained like that. So of course we can go back to room heights and say include room, pick that, and then say process all. And if we now pick that room, you'll see that it's once again back exactly the way we'd expect it to be calculated automatically. And going back to our interface, the last thing to make mention of is we can elect to auto move rooms. That's for room placed incorrectly on a level. And so if we'd created a room at ground floor when it should have been done at level GA or some other level, we can say automatically move the room to the closest level. And we can also say move to higher. So that will have the benefit of being able to extend that room downwards if necessary. So hopefully that won't be required too often. Room info simply lets you pick a room and it reports on all the parameters related to that room. And you can see here we've got room height ARUtils. So hopefully that gives you a good idea of what the command does, and ideal for passing your rooms on to engineers for better calculations. And also when you select a room, the top and bottom are shown correctly rather than the somewhat random nature of what Revit will do by default. Thank you for your time.